I am thrilled to have Stefanie Julia join me again on the podcast today. Thank you for coming back. We talked in 2023, I think it was like episode 62 or something like that. And so much has happened since you're now a mom. You have this new perspective that you're wanting to share with everybody, and you're continuing to evolve and grow your business. So, welcome back. I'm thrilled to talk to you again.
Thank you so much for having me. I back then being on the Mompreneur podcast, I was a bit intimidated, but how it's just synchronicities at work. So I'm really excited to be here now as a mom.
Yeah, no, I'm thrilled to have you. Let's go back. Tell listeners where you started as a federal agent. And I'm so interested in what you're doing now, and you're a client attraction coach. That sounds so juicy to me. So, yeah.
All right, let's talk about it. So back in the day, I used to be a special agent for Homeland Security investigations. It was honestly my dream career. I got to utilize like my research skills, my problem solving, team building, all of that in a very unique way. I did it for 13 years. And towards the end, I was really getting this strong pull. I had an online fitness coaching business, and I knew what I was doing was walking in my passion, walking in my purpose. And every time I stepped back into my career, it felt inauthentic. Like it felt like it just wasn't me anymore. And I decided to walk away when I was pretty much at the height of my fitness coaching business. Like things were going well. I was matching my salary, doing it part time, very, very much part time. I always joke that I had a 24/7 job, not a 9 to 5. And that fitness clients did not want to meet me at the gym because I could not guarantee I'd actually be there at a certain time. So online fitness coaching it was the perfect way to launch that side of my online coaching career. And then after I left, I was a business coach in someone else's mastermind while I was in that 24/7 job. And when I left, I was like, you know what? I'm going to open up my own business coaching practice. I do not recommend doing that right when you're like doing something new, right when you're transitioning out of your job. But I did, and it worked out very well. So love what I do now. And I'm so grateful for the hats that I learned, which was actually the automated client attraction system was created while I was in that 24/7 job.
Hmm. Yeah, and I want to hear more about that. But in the midst of that, you became a mom. And what I love about your perspective is that when so many can rightfully use motherhood as a time to step back and to say, no, I'm not going to take on the endeavor of pursuing my business and my dreams, you used it as fuel for success. So, talk about that and how it changed your perspective.
Absolutely. So I was pregnant after I left. So I was a full-time entrepreneur for a year, and then sadly was leaving the relationship, thought that, all right, I'm gonna start a new chapter. And then a few days after I left the relationship, I found out I was pregnant. And this was also at the same time I had launched a year-long one-to-one coaching mastermind. And I was like, what is going on? So it was a trying time, but when you say how my baby made me shift my perspective, it was not just my vision, but also the way that like I ran my business and the type of offers that I had. So when I was pregnant, I tested out this offer so I turned my mastermind into a VIP day. So instead of 12 months of coaching and getting you there and all that, it's like, let's do this in 2 days, knock it out. And people salivated over it. It was a great idea. It actually is how I was able to fund my maternity leave within the last 2 months of me being pregnant. Again, don't recommend doing that to the last moment, but I didn't want to go into, well, let me say this. Back when I was a federal agent, I had saved up sick leave for the possibility of me being pregnant one day. I had, even when I was single, I would basically keep all of my sick leave. And if someone asked me why I had a bunch, I'd be like, well, I have to take off for maternity leave. I want to be able to do that without thinking about it. Because I worked with a lot of people who would have to get donations in order to cover their maternity leave. It's terrible.
Right.
So I was like, well, I want to still have that maternity leave that I always envisioned for myself. But how do I do that as a full-time entrepreneur? And, we all preach as business coaches to have savings and all of that. But I burned that leaving that relationship that, was my whole world. I used up all of my savings to get out of there, to move across the country, to reset my lifestyle. And so going into maternity leave, or really the end of my pregnancy, I knew I was going to take off for at least 3 months. I just didn't know how that was going to work. So I made enough money using the VIP days, setting up automated client attraction systems in other people's businesses. And yeah, that was pretty much like how I was able to do it. But my baby, her name's Keziah. She inspired me to not have, like, I was a full-time entrepreneur, but I was still very much working in my business like I did when I was side hustling. And now I'm building a team, more of experts, not just, just folks that can just help me out to get by, but really building what I'm calling now a company instead
Mhm.
of, just looking at it like how am I going to cover all of the expenses over the next 3 months? Like, no, I'm building a company that's not, I'm not growing, I'm not scaling, I'm building this company. Yeah, I could go on and on to talk about how she is.
Well, that's what I think is so interesting. Your perspective changed from like more of a short term, like I'm just looking like 3 months ahead to, this longer sustained business model. So, talk about some of the systems and processes and mindset shifts that you had to undergo and adopt to create this different business.
Okay. And let me be transparent. I'm still figuring it out. I'm
We
still,
all are. We all
yeah,
are. 'Cause I
like,
love that you mentioned that because, as your baby gets older, your needs are going to change. As your business grows, that's going to change. We're constantly in a state of evolution. So I love that you mentioned that. And we're all still, it's a process. It's not a one and done.
no, no. You know what? That's so funny that you say that. I'm gonna stick a pin in the one and done because that was something I noticed with the offer. But speaking in how I, shifted the way I run my business now, the marketing has always been streamlined. Like that was always my thing, the client attraction that I figured out when I was full time in my career because I had to. Like it was a necessity. I had the job that was taking up all my time. Now I have my baby, but it was like the same system. But with a baby girl, not just marketing that needs to be like streamlined. It's your delivery. You need support that is on an expert level, not just assistance. And we grow to that. Like I wouldn't have been able to do this in the beginning, right? But knowing that that's what I'm trying to get to, I probably could have done this a long time ago. I didn't look at it as a need. I was like, I'm doing just fine, just like this. So I'll keep going. But now I'm like, yeah, no, I don't need it, but I want it because just recently I took off for a week because my baby girl couldn't go to daycare because she was sick. What happens for a week years ago? Everything would have shut down. Yeah, my automation would have been going. The system, the ads would have kept going, the automation, but who's responding to it? Who's helping the clients? Who's delivering that? So I had to shift to not just the automation on my marketing, but the automation on how I'm delivering the product. But the very first thing I would suggest for anyone to do is to streamline the marketing. That the reason I say that's the first thing, and that's probably like real polarizing for some people to hear. And it's because you can do anything if you have money. Like money rules the world. So if you have money coming into your business, if you know you can turn on an automated marketing system and get a client, then there's so much power in the way you make decisions. I can confidently hire an expert team because I know I'm gonna get I know I'm gonna get a client this week or next week. Like I know what's coming in because I trust my automated marketing and sales system, which I call the automated client attraction system, which I can explain what that all
Yeah.
means. Like so client attraction systems need to be aligned, number one, with the person, the business, the offer, your personality. You know, we hear online or on social media that, you know, webinars work or challenges work or but you need to have a quiz. They all work, y'all. They all work. There's going to be a guru under each client attraction system because they all work. So make just pick one that aligns with you, your personality, and your offer, and how you want to show up in your business. I've done them all. I've tested them multiple times. They all work. They all will get you to your goal. Just some, depending on what's going on in your world, is easier than another. Like for example, a community funnel. I was doing. I love community funnels. It's basically the free communities that you see on Facebook, school, all of those. they they're great if you have time to be like in conversation in the beginning stages of a client attraction system. But if you are like where I am right now, it's very tough for me to have a free community funnel. I actually just launched one a couple weeks ago, mostly because I wanted to test one off of Facebook, but it's hard for me to do it when I'm heavy in delivery. I'm in my CEO brain. I'm trying to build my company. But in the beginning stages of my coaching business, community funnels were beautiful. I was able to talk to my client or my ideal clients and understand what their struggles were, what they wanted to learn. I could see because I was in front of them each and every day and having active conversations with them in the DMs or in the chat, wherever your community is being held. And I knew how to monetize a free community. I didn't care if people were just coming into my community and not paying for anything to get there, right? Like I know there are paid communities out there, but I want a free community and monetizing it with a high ticket coaching program. So the way that you do that is by setting up your membership questions so that it's like the checkpoint of asking, okay, who you are you in alignment with this community? And the most important one I always call like the money maker is asking them if they want to work with you. 90% of the people that join your community are going to say yes to that question. And that starts the conversation to get on a call. Now, that's so simple. You can do it organically. You don't need hardly any automation to get a client using that type of client attraction system. But imagine if you automate the process in which your next client gets in that community and run a targeted ad in front of your ideal audience. It's basically like paying the algorithm to do what you want it to do and grow your community and have like turn that 90% into, let's say, you know, 100, 200, 300 people inside of your community every single month. That's like how you can automate a client attraction system with a community as the client attraction system.
Mhm.
But I want to kind of break the mold and tell people They all work. So you can do that
Mm-hmm.
same automated client attraction system with a quiz, a pre-recorded training, which was like, that was what I used when I left my career. I had a pre-recorded training going and a tripwire to book a call, and I was booking calls multiple times a day. On audit, like it would just show up on my calendar. I'd come on the call, have a conversation, they'd become a client. Like it was just like boom, boom, boom. And I'm being a little facetious. It is more like tech set up than that. But once it's set up,
Mm-hmm.
you're good to go. You're good to
Yeah.
go.
So it sounds like I'm interested in your thoughts. Like a lot of my listeners are busy moms who might not have time to be in the chats of like a free community. So it sounds like maybe that pre-recorded training and the automated ads that are booking calls for you
Mm-hmm.
sounds like really one of the better options. But what is it that we're getting? You know, ads are such a hot topic. What are some of the things that we can keep in mind if we want to go that route? What are we getting wrong? What are we what are we not doing right when it comes to ads?
You're making my heart sing. That is such a great point. First off, let me give a couple of points with the automated, so for the moms who, so there's two type of moms I've learned that are out here. Like I'm getting
Mhm.
into this club, right? I'm watching see the mompreneurs who are utilizing daycare and like childcare
Right.
services, all that. And then the moms who, bless y'all, that are not. And
They're
you are,
homeschooling, they're doing
I
I
don't know. I need y'all to come and teach me. But both of you have a different client attraction system, right? Like it's very, or the mom that has the kids in school. For the mom, I'm going to speak to the mom that is home with their children, like the small kids and homeschooling the big kids. Just you add a bit more automation in front of your lead magnet, your cookie, basically is what I call it.
Mhm.
What you're doing wrong, two things. You're boosting posts, stop doing that. Well, I feel like in 2025, nobody's really boosting. I don't think anybody's boosting.
I hope that word has gotten out. Like,
But the reason why we don't boost posts is because we can do it a better way.
right.
There's a way to target your ideal client. So understanding who they are, all that work we did when we first started with knowing who your ideal client avatar is. Use that. Now I honestly feel like it's more powerful now using ads than even with organic. But taking all that information that you did in a typical avatar worksheet, and you're giving it to Meta.
Mhm.
So on when you go into the back end of your ads manager, and if y'all are like, Stefanie, stop talking to me like this, just reach out, book a call, and I literally will walk you through it. But in the back end of your ads manager, you have an opportunity to create a target audience.
Mhm.
And so you're telling Meta, find me these people. That is so powerful. And the reason why
Mhm.
Meta goes and does it instead of them not doing it on Instagram when you create a post is because you gave them $5, $10, $20 to go find it. And it takes that money and finds you as many as they can find until they run out of their budget. You can do damage with $10 a day. I didn't go past $10 a day for years, y'all. I didn't have the capacity. I'm serious. I didn't have the capacity for it. During catch flights
Wow.
and fitness, I didn't have to. So, and let me say this because I just mentioned catch flights and fitness. When you have a polarizing message, a polarizing like niche, you can do damage with ads. So for those who are like, well, I don't, my target audience is small, or I don't think, that's perfect, because that means you have viral opportunities, but on your ad.
Mhm.
So $10 a day, you really could do damage. But let's say, like at this point, I'm starting to scale my ads, like growing my ad spend slowly but surely, getting it up to where I want my revenue goal to be. You don't need to you don't do that on day one. Let's say you do $10 a
Yeah.
day on your ad spend. you get, 2 clients from it. Guess what you do with that new income that you got from ads, right? You don't stop what you were doing before, but ads allow you to, take a portion of that and then scale further with that. So you don't have to stay at $10 a day if your goal is bigger than what you're getting from it. So just to put it in perspective, I had a client who spent 1,300 recently, and that's, I need to break that down per day. Oh, don't have me do math wrong.
Find my calculator. Let's
Like,
see.
let's see, because I wonder what it is. $43 a day.
Okay,
So
yeah.
$43 a day, $1,300, and they made $33,000. Right? So it's like you, and that $33,000 wasn't, on the very last day when they had to spend the 1,300, right? I've had clients who spent 500 and made 6,000. So
Hmm.
there's like, you have to figure out what your ROAS, your return on ad spend will be, and then go from there. So
Hmm.
let me circle back to the mompreneurs out there that have the baby at home filling, and you're like, I just need to get the clients. I've got the system. I've got, I can coach them. I know how to do that. Or even if you're not coaching and you're doing like consultations or even y'all out there with products. You can do damage with this client attraction system. Putting it Put your ad spend towards a funnel that's like a training, a free gift training that we're doing anyway. We're dropping all over the place, but putting your ad on that and have a tripwire that has them booking a call. Now you get to just show up in your genius and sell and you know that it's an ideal client getting on the call because you told Meta only show this to these people, right?
Hmm.
One more point, and I know I'm jumping a little bit all over the place, but I hope you guys are taking notes. One more point, and I'm giving y'all everything here because I think it's so good, and you guys rule the world. What is the content? I'm actually talking about that a lot right now. The
Yeah.
content on these ads, stop overthinking it. Stop overthinking it. It's the same content that you would put on Instagram and Facebook. Why? Or whatever platform you're running the ad on. It's the same content because it shows up. You want it to show up in the news feed. It just says like, the little sponsored post or whatever. But people see my ads and don't even think that that's an ad until they're like, oh, it says click the link. Let me click the link. Or sometimes they won't even notice and they go to my profile and they take action on something that was organically posted. I don't care. Either way, they're getting into my system, right?
Right.
But if you create content that you already know is converting on your organic social media posting, you can put that on an ad.
Hmm. Yeah. So for the person who maybe hasn't had anything or they're starting from scratch, what's kind of a framework where they can start to begin to create that content that converts or connects with their ideal customer?
It's my favorite topic right now. So please excuse my excitement. There are 3 types of content that converts. Really, really 4, but I'm merging one of them. Is your story or stories, either your story or client stories. So when you talk about your story, it's social proof, right? Make sure it ties to your framework. And then your client stories, those are I used to get so frustrated as a fitness coach posting like before and after pictures and people wouldn't even like congratulate them, but they're watching. They see it. So
Mm-hmm.
it does not matter if they engage or whatever. I just want them to see it, right? I used to say that my content is for the look back. I
Yeah.
want people to come to my page and then they go through and they like binge look at everything. I'm telling you, people will binge my trainings on my page because it has constantly like content that converts. That's what your page is all about, is the look back. I
Hmm.
don't care if no one comments or anything like that. As soon as I post, it does not matter. I do want to mention your story is going to be the most engaged. People want to hear like what you're going through, what you've gone through. They want to know more about like the person behind the brand. So even if you are, I had a client, she was a fitness coach as well, who didn't have a story that aligned with her client's story.
Mm.
And yeah, so she was a fitness coach that had never been, she helped women lose weight, but she had never had to lose weight. So her story was all about the mindset and what she was doing right now to be able to stay fit in the way that she was now, and to relate in that way, how she was doing it with little kids. So it's still important. Your story is still important, even if you're like her, where you don't struggle in the same things that your clients do. So that's the first one. The second one is polarizing content. It's one of my favorite. It's the viral content. And I do not care if you can't tell, I don't care if you go viral or not, but I want you to have viral worthy content.
Hmm.
Polarizing content is where you're taking a stand against something, and you're like, you know what? I am keto doesn't work, and here's why. Keto makes you sick, and here's why. Or intermittent fasting isn't it, like, stop doing it, it's hurting your kidneys. I really don't know what, but it's when you're taking a stand for
Yeah.
something or against something, and almost like talking your ish, right?
Hmm.
Then the last one is the one we're all doing already. I saved the best for last. It's value. Just give
Hmm.
value to your community. I look at my content as being of service. Like,
Hmm.
not everybody can afford to work with me. Not everybody I want like are at the level to maybe even work with me, or mentally and physically. So the content can give them something to like bite on, give them those small wins.
Hmm.
And that's what the value posts are. Those are posts like 10 ways to lose body fat, 10, it's 3 types of content that convert, right? Like,
Right.
those are value posts. So those 3 things are content that you can use in your organic reach, as well as when you're using paid ads.
I love that because I was gonna be like, oh, is she gonna answer the question like what kind of budget that you need? Because that is a question I've asked of other coaches, and they're like, well, and they dance around it. So I really love that you can give listeners a practical answer and like a simple framework. And like you said, it's so hard, especially for moms and women to take like the emotion out of it.
My Virgo brain, I'm
Right?
like, I switch it on. I'm like, I just need these action steps. Yeah.
Right. Right. So I love that you're putting it in a way where we can just, focus on the process and kind of get out of our own way.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, no, I love that. So are there any other like systems or processes that you think moms in particular need to hear about in running most of my listeners are online business owners,
Mm-hmm,
which I
mm-hmm.
think is, a whole other set of skills, but it's what really serves us best usually as moms. Yeah. Is there anything that you wish you could tell a mom listening?
You need all the automation hacks. So
Right.
there is a software. It depends on what level of automation you need.
Yeah.
But my favorite piece of software is, and I hate to give it to them, but it's Go High Level.
Don't gatekeep.
It's like, I know, right? Send me an affiliate. Um, I use a white label version of Go High Level. It's called the Coach Resort. And the reason why is because when I first started coaching, I was spending $1,100 a month on software. And you said, like, as an online business, it wasn't, I didn't know better. I thought
Mm.
that was just, in order to work a business in the online space, that's just, a line item. It was an expense that I had to pay. And I had all of these different softwares. So why I love Go High Level is because it combines them into an all-in-one CRM. And there are other all-in-one CRMs. So that's why I was like, listen, just get an all-in-one CRM that allows you to email and automate your emails. That's the important part. You shouldn't be sending emails yourself, especially when you have like a welcome email sequence, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So having the automated email feature in your CRM is important, and a place to track your lead.
Mm.
CRMs, that's what they were built for, is to like track clients and track
Mm-hmm.
leads throughout your process. So I love that, having that all in one place. And then I really moved over to Go High Level because they had text marketing. And I was paying a grip in text marketing because a lot of my people are busy. They're not really
Yeah.
reading emails like that. So
Yeah.
being able to send a quick text to let them know I'm going live at 3 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
it's really great for me to have. And then they just added, so we all know what well, I don't know, everybody knows what ManyChat is.
Yes.
It's like the automation for
Mm-hmm.
IG. And if you put like a keyword, a CTA for is VIP, and then it automatically sends a message. Well, Go High Level has that feature embedded in their program. So when I say it's like an all-in-one, it's beautiful. I'm obsessed. And then the funnel pages are all over there as well. So that would be my top system,
Mm-hmm.
is to get an all-in-one CRM that has all of the automation you need, so that you're not paying for all of these softwares and then, Zapier to connect everything.
Yeah. Right.
The other thing, you asked something else. I forgot.
Well, oftentimes I have guests who like see particular things over and over again among their clients who are moms or women. And so, yeah, sometimes they have like this burning thing that they just want to say, like, do this or stop doing this. So sometimes we need that um piece of wisdom to expand or shift how we're thinking about things in our business.
They need to hear from you. There's so many hacks I could give, but the one frustration that I have that is across the board is I have to convince a lot of people to show up in front of their audience.
Mm,
And that's not like, no, you can't ask, especially I work with a lot of high ticket coaches. You can't
hmm
ask someone to pay you top dollar and you don't want to show up
hmm
in front of them. And you're
Yeah.
used to showing up in front of them, maybe in person or networking.
hmm
You're creating a marketing platform on social media. They also need to see you too. And that
hmm
could be, in your IG stories. It could be a talk to camera reel that you recorded, 6 months ago that you keep repurposing over and over
hmm
again. It could be a live that you just show up on Instagram Live for 10, 15 minutes during that time. Like I have to find those moments even myself, because I get so like in my head about where I am in the delivery of things.
hmm
I need to show up as well in front of my audience. And you guys do too. I don't care if you're doing organic or what I call automated content, which is ads. You
hmm
It doesn't matter. You still want to show up in front of them at least once a week. At least once a week.
Right. So, talk to us about how you fit it all in and still create like a freedom-based business model. Because I think that that's what's really overwhelming. It's like, okay, I have to be visible, I have to do the things and show up, but connecting all the dots and kind of making it happen is tough, right? And we're constantly figuring out like, how to do it. But maybe some
Mhm.
tips on how to get all the things in that you need to that move the needle, but also still having that freedom. that we're all craving and why we probably started a business in the first place.
Yep. There's so many things that popped up. I almost wanted to like, what is
We need a download from Stefanie's brain.
it? And then put it in ChatGPT. The first thing that came to my mind was support, like having a strong support system. I have daycare and I have a mom. I moved to Jersey when I was 5 months pregnant because my mom lived here, and I was like, "Yep, I'm living 10 minutes from her because she's like, my catch-all. I love her so much. I'm so grateful for her help. But that having that strong support system is huge. I would not be able to do things at the level that I'm doing now without a strong support system.
Mhm.
And that support system isn't just for childcare, it's also for me, like my mindset and and I'm going to talk about the strategies in a second because it's not what you guys think. It's Let me finish that train of thought. My business besties are also my support system.
Mm.
My business coach helps me get out of my mindset and stick to the plan that we created and keep moving forward. Because I said this earlier, all these strategies, all these client attraction systems work. So figure out what works for you and execute on it. While you execute, guess what's going to happen? All the doubt, the fears, the worries, mind tracks, they still have been. I probably had a thought this morning. I know I had like a mini meltdown yesterday over a decision that was already made. And someone had to tell me, Stefanie, you already made the decision. And I told them, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of myself second guessing my decisions because they always work out. I am
Yeah.
so like, because I'm walking in alignment with what I really want to do in life, I'm protected. I'm
Mhm.
protected. It's always going to work out. And the only way it doesn't work out is if you quit, you stop working at it. So it's really, to sum it up, what I was trying to get at is doing the thing, keep showing up. You could like I gave all these strategies, these hacks, all these things. You could literally go live every day for, let's say 3 months straight, something insane, and sell. Like it does not matter as long as you keep that consistency arm moving forward and do it in a way that is sustainable. Because like you said, I'm still trying to figure it out. Like Keziah does not sleep well anymore. She used to. Like, feel like I'm in a newborn phase. And so that means my favorite time is in the mornings at like 4 to 6 a.m. to get stuff done. Like it's always been like that, even back with my career. And I don't have that anymore. So I have to adjust. I've started to like, am I going to be a nighttime person now? No, you're a 9 to 5. There's no more doing things outside of the workday. That means you got to get it done in that moment. And so I just want to reiterate that there's no right way as long as you adjust. You have the flexibility to adjust, but you keep putting that consistency pressure on.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's so true. It is, it's just something you consistently have to work at. And if you fall off of the wagon, you just got to get back on, and that's totally fine. There's no time. I mean, I've had time that I've had to step back. I mean, this year's been my 18-year-old graduated, we moved, my whole world just like turned upside down. And it was like, yeah, it was so much. And so, and it's just like giving yourself grace, going like, I'm never gonna have another year like this for a while.
Yes, there's ups and downs. And
Right.
I mean, your ups and downs. There was a point in time when I called, actually, when we first met, I feel like I was in my chaos season. It was like every week there was something. It was just
Right.
felt like the sky was falling. And you know what? Someone told me, like, you just gotta lean in and ride the wave.
Right.
So I probably, if that same version of Stefanie came into this version of Stefanie, And she'd probably say, "Oh, your life looks chaotic. There's always something, like the
Right.
baby is sick or whatever, and like you're in your chaos season." No, I feel like I'm vibing, I'm flowing, I'm just
Right.
the that's what the magic is really of being an online business owner. I get to do that. So I'm
Right. And I think if you look at it, keeping a little person alive lets you, gives you the perspective that you can do a lot more than you think you can. You could weather a lot more than you think you can. Well, we're running up a little bit against time. I could talk to you forever. I mean, you've given us so much insight and wisdom and tips. If there was one takeaway that you wanted to leave with listeners who are feeling overwhelmed and distressed and really not sure how to take their business to the next level, what would you say to them?
what's the minimal viable product of how you can show up and just pull back some of that energy. Quick example of why I was the first thing that came to my mind was I did that when I was pregnant and I was going to all these coaching calls trying to soak in all this knowledge. I was in all these programs and taking courses, and I was like, Stephanie, look at your calendar. There's no time to execute because you
Yeah.
keep learning, and there's a
Yeah.
season, right?
Hmm.
Had to pull back to what's the minimal viable product of me executing in my business, because what you just described is like the you're really on the cusp of burnout,
Hmm.
right? That person is either burnt out or on the cusp of burnt out. So scale completely back, right? Completely back. How can I do all these things that I just suggested? What's the minimal viable product of, my automated marketing system? Is
Yeah.
it mini chat and one content piece a week? That's my marketing system. Because guess what, sis? It all works. As
Right.
long as you consistently do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was another thing I wanted to talk to you about too, but we didn't get time, but you worked it in is just incorporating simplicity. Simplifying your offers, simplifying your calendar, simplifying your life when it just feels overwhelming. What's working? What's giving you the best return on your time and your investment and lean into that.
1,000%. I 100% agree. Oh, that was a perfect way.
Yeah. Well,
But
Stephanie, I hope that listeners are going to want to connect with you because DIYing it long term, I just don't think it's sustainable. Have that person in your corner. It's so powerful to give you that ability to speed up time and speed up your growth in your business and just, expand everything on how you're living in your life and your business. So where can they connect with you?
let's see. So my favorite thing is to share my quiz. I talked a lot about client attraction systems, so I created a quiz that helps you identify your ideal aligned automated client attraction system that's built around your personality, your offer, your business, and you can find it at thevipcoaches.com/quiz. And then because I mentioned the community funnel, I do want to give one more little freebie. And it's because those membership questions I talked about, how to
Oh, yeah.
monetize your community, it's in there. It's in this training. And it's at thevipcoaches.com/FB. And it is aligned to, it talks about the community one. So if that was something that was of interest to you, you can see that in live and in action.
I love it. Thank you, Stephanie. Congratulations on your little girl. Good luck. Stay. The season is not forever. It only gets more complicated.
Over here, but thank you.
But it's so rewarding. Both things, business and parenthood, are just like the most rewarding thing you can ever do. So, thanks so much for sharing your wisdom and your insight today.
Thank you.